Hi, I'm Brett Shive, and today we're going to be talking about the Maxi-Air units for Allmand. In our lineup, we have a 100, a 185, a 375 dual pressure, and a 400 CFM unit. But today we're talking about the Maxi-Air 185. So on this unit here, we have our standard key switch. Once this comes on, you'll be able to see our air pressure gauge. We have a monitor lamp here, which you can change through engine speed, discharge temp, water temperature, hour meter, and discharge air pressure. So all this allows you to be able to see what's going on with the unit in the field. Down here we have an auto idle function. What this allows the customer to be able to do in the field is when they're not entirely utilizing the machine, they can push this button and allow the engine to spin freely as it depressurizes your air system. So this way you're saving fuel whenever you're not fully in use. Over here, you'll have a residual pressure gauge. This light will stay solid red whenever you shut down the machine and you close the service valve and there's any air pressure left in the receiver tank. It'll finally dissipate once the air relieves itself. And then here in this section, you'll see we have an engine error light. So anytime there's an engine malfunction or a sensor has an issue, that light will come on and let you know. Below that is regeneration required light. This means that regeneration is needed because the unit is creating too much soot in its DPF, the diesel particulate filter. And right here you have a cleaning exhaust filter light. This means the unit is going to be in an active regen anytime that light is on. That means it's actively trying to clean out any of that soot that's clogging up inside the DPF without needing a full regeneration. And then down here, this is your regeneration switch. When this light starts flashing, that means that the soot level is starting to increase. You'll need to come over and close your service valves and then push and hold that button for about 3 seconds. That light will stay solid red and the unit will go into its own manual regeneration, which will take about 45 minutes to complete. After that, the lights go off and you're ready to go back to the job. So on these units, when we're talking about Tier 4, and we're talking about diesel particulate filters or DOCs, which is a diesel oxidation catalyst, we talk about regeneration a lot of the time. There's actually 4 different types of regeneration. You have passive, active, manual, and forced. So when we talk about a passive regeneration, that means the unit is working fine. It's doing its job, it's doing exactly what it needs to do, and it's cleaning itself out. Everything is at optimal temperature. Then we talk about active regeneration. Active regeneration means it's seeing in that DPF that it's starting to get too much pressure coming in and not enough pressure coming out. So it's going to start ramping up the RPMs as it can. It'll dump some diesel into the exhaust stroke and try to clean out that DPF during the normal operation as well. But again, that's usually where you'll see your cleaning exhaust filter come in. So that light's going to come on, let you know that it's actively trying to clean that out. And then you have manual regeneration. So this means the unit is telling you, it's giving you some kind of light or alert that it needs help in order to go into this manual regeneration. And most of our units, you either have to close a service valve or even on a generator, shut the breaker off. And then you can push that button and allow the unit to go into a manual regeneration to perform that function. Usually takes about 30 to 45 minutes. And after that, there's what we call a forced regeneration. That means that the unit is completely locked out. It's called for that regeneration cycle, but nobody on the job site was around, nobody saw the alert, and so now the unit will shut down or go into a low idle and not be able to be back in use. At that point, you need to contact the local service provider, usually for the engine manufacturer, and then they will be able to go in with software and clean that unit. All right, so now we're gonna open up the door and talk about the curbside of the unit. Once you open up this door, this is going to give you access to all of your curbside fluid maintenance, such as a receiver oil drain, fuel drain, engine oil drain, and engine oil cooler drain, as well as on this side is your fuel cap for filling. Here we have our oil air separator filter, compressor air filter, engine air filter. We have our fuel water separator filter, and then back here, another fuel filter as well. And then down below is your engine oil filter. This over here is going to be your electronic fuel primer. And as you can see, we try to keep these cabinets as big as possible so that way it's easy to get in and do any of that curbside fluid maintenance. So now that we're on the street side of the unit, you'll see that in this area we have access for tool storage. So depending on your job site application, you could either fit your hoses or a 90-pound jackhammer. Then here, we also have access to your battery. It's underneath a nice little cover there so it stays protected. Here, we have our compressor oil filter. And then down here we have a radiator drain.